Hey guys, what's going on? Troy at Mountain Man Treasure here, and the packages are piling up.
Mountain Man Treasures.
Welcome into the channel, guys. My name is Troy. I'm a reseller in Montana. That means that my day job is to go to garage sales and estate sales and thrift stores and find stuff that I think is priced too low and then sell it again online for a profit. And I do that on eBay. And I also do that on Whatnot now, time to time, but once a week or so. That's what all of this is actually back here. We had a pretty successful Whatnot auction the other day, our Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and so it took me a while to pack that up. If you join Whatnot, be prepared to enjoy some time packing because it took a while. But we also have a whole lot of eBay sales. And so the two together have made for a really nice couple of days. So what we're going to do is take a look at what's been selling at the old eBay store.
Sold a couple of these. These are Callaway vintage head covers. I mean, vintage. They're more retro because they're obviously very new. I picked these up at Walmart, actually, in the clearance aisle. You got to be careful when you pick up clearance stuff at big box stores because a lot of other people will be seeing the same clearance items. But I paid $1 a piece on these. I picked up 7 or 8. I think I picked up whatever they had. They're marked down from 15 bucks. I priced them to move on my store just to make sure that we would make a little bit of profit. We sold one of these before on an offer that I sent out for $7.48 plus shipping. And now both of these actually have sold at full price, and that is $7.98 plus shipping. So essentially $8 on both of these. I paid $1 for them. We're not making a ton, but our first sale pretty much made us even, and now these are basically all profit. And how hard is it to ship out a golf head cover?
It's not that hard, Scott.
Then we sold this guy for the Game Boy Color. This is Dogs with a Z. I had this at $8.98. Somebody sent me an offer of $8, and I took it. So $8 free shipping. It's not a super high dollar valuable game, obviously. So again, I priced this thing to move, and we make a couple of bucks. It's going to go out at the 4-ounce rate. So, you know, we make $3-4 off of that. Another video game, Rock Band 3 for the Xbox 360. This one sells relatively well, just not for high dollar. This one going out for $9.98 plus shipping. And then another PS2 Black Label game. This is Way of the Samurai. This sold within a couple of days of listing it, actually, for $19.76 plus shipping. A couple other things over here. Look at this teeny tiny guy, because he's a teeny mate. Dallas Cowboys running back from Teeny Mates, and I got a whole bag of these at Goodwill for $2.99 for the whole bag. I've actually only listed about half of them. I have a bag left that I have to list. We're already in the profit. One of them sold, and we were basically even, and we've sold 3 or 4 of these guys now, different teams, different positions. This guy sold for $3.49 plus shipping. A lot of profit? No. But very, very easy to list these things. You sell similar and put new photos up. It's very, very easy. So $3.50 on that guy. Let's do this one. This from our vintage private pick toy haul. This is Bigfoot, of course. It's still got the Hot Wheels flag back there, which is pretty much always ripped off, right? That didn't last through the years. This is a cool old toy, and these sell every time that they're listed. These are a very hot ticket. If you find vintage Bigfoot in general, check it out because it does sell very well. Some of it for very high dollar. I've sold a Bigfoot model recently for really good money. And this one, I mean, really good money for this, right? It's just a monster truck die-cast car, $19.76 plus shipping, guys. So $20 on this. And I had multiple watchers on this item. This is one that will sell very quickly. This is a Yamaha 3-wheeler. There were no other listings on eBay that I could find of this. It's relatively rare. The stickers aren't in perfect shape, but people that ride their snowmobiles, that ride their ATVs, they are brand loyal, and they are passionate about what it is that they do. And so I priced this thing relatively high. It's one of those, and I put it in the listing. You pull it back and you let it go. And this is one that needs a little help. Like, it kind of works. Yeah. The Suzuki actually works very well. There, see, he kind of went.
he needs help. The go isn't quite there. But even just for a little piece to set on a shelf, a relatively rare piece. And so I did, I did price him up a little bit, but since he doesn't work, I was willing to take offers. And somebody sent me an offer of, I think it was like 12. We bounced back and forth, and we settled in at 15 bucks plus shipping for that little guy. So, I mean, a toy that doesn't fully work, and another one. Those two right there, we're looking at $35. Guys, this is the stuff that other resellers, especially if they're in a hurry, they're not going to see these. They're not going to pick them up. You can make great money on these little vintage, toys. Something else you can also make money on is the Bible. It is the best-selling book of all time.
True story.
And this I picked up from an estate sale. And I think I paid $1, but we bundled a whole bunch together, so I might be down to 50 cents on it. I'm not really sure. This thing, a study Bible, Baker's Illustrated Bible, sold for $30.14. And this is pretty cool. It's got a lot of just different historical notes, you know, places, where they were then, what they look like now, different buildings you can see there. This is a really cool book to dive into just the history, not necessarily, you know, the Bible itself, but the history of that time. All right, more stuff. Let's finish this thing out. You can see we've got a smattering, all different kinds of things, and well, that's how we like to roll here at the mountain. We got a lot of different stuff, high dollar, low dollar. The first one in this batch, definitely low dollar. This is Mater, of course, a little die cast. Got two of him, actually. I bought, we've talked about it before, but bought 4 toy bags from Goodwill. They were all $2.99. I sold all of the ones that I didn't want just on Facebook Marketplace for 15 bucks. That put us in the profit. So all the Disney cars and a few others in there, I'm selling on their own on eBay. We make a little bit of profit each time, 100%. So this $6.99 free shipping, he's probably going to go out for about $4, I would imagine, $3 and change. So, you know, we make a couple bucks. Easy enough. Put this guy in a bag, put him in a box, tape it shut. Super, super easy money.
It's not that hard, Scott.
Same thing with this guy. We bought a bag full of these for, I think, again, it was either $1.99 or $2.99. And they sell very slowly, but they sell. You know, fans want these sitting on their shelf with all of their other stuff. And the Raiders mini helmet sold for $5.99 plus shipping. So these nice little money makers, honestly, by the time they're all done. We sold a plush. This guy going international. This is Tails. You can see Tomy is the brand there. That's a good one to look out for. Pokemon. Tomy Pokemon is good as well. But this is Tails. And I got him at Goodwill for, I think, $1. And he sold overseas. He's going to Ireland. And he sold for 61.69 euros. The euro very, very close to the dollar. So that's going to be about $67 in that ballpark. It's only going to cost, you know, $12 or something to ship him. He's very, very light. So we're going to make a nice profit off of that. The movie coming out, certainly helping there. Over here, we got another plush. We might as well go to this guy. And this is from The Good Dinosaur. And this was purchased by a viewer. I actually sent out an offer on this guy this morning, and Mia picked me up on that, and you can see he's one with sound. So, pretty cool guy. Shush. Yeah, it's funny. Mia says she's given this to her little miniature 6-year-old human. So, thank you so much, and Mia paid $9.40 plus shipping on that guy. We'll come down here, a low dollar game, but it sells pretty well. I did price it to move, certainly. $4.99 plus shipping for Rapala on the Xbox 360 Connect. We got a Funko Pop. This actually just sold this morning. Billy Butcherson. This is from Hocus Pocus, a Spirit Halloween exclusive. I got this off a Whatnot auction for 20 bucks, something like that. And it sold for $46.89 plus shipping. So not a huge profit, but I knew I'd make some money on it. So I like selling these time to time. So $47 roughly on that. Pretty cool.
took an offer this morning on this, $6.50 plus shipping for Season 2 of Ash versus the Evil Dead. We sold another movie as well, and this one going out to a viewer. And this Michael up in Missoula, Montana. He just stopped in the store the other day, and he's back. So he came in and purchased Goodfellas, the 20th anniversary edition. This one is like we had Cabaret earlier, a few weeks ago, that sold. See, this one's got various behind-the-scenes stuff in it, which is pretty cool. So we got Goodfellas going out. And Michael didn't just purchase Goodfellas. This was $9.98 plus shipping. And then he came in and picked this up. This super cool. He's got a couple of really neat things in this order. This is the Ordinance supply catalog for the Army. And this is old. Look at this. 1944. So this shows all the different parts and pieces, what the grain of the ammunition is. There's information on the bolt, it looked like on oiling the gun, disassembling. Really, really cool vintage military piece here. So he picked this guy up. He also picked up the McDonald's Nuggets. I don't want to try and open it one-handed, but they're in there. This is the McDonald's Nugget container. And there's 3 sets of these guys in there. And then I had this one, so we threw this one in as a bonus set. So there's the 3 that come with it like this, and then this guy. So these, if you find these old McDonald's things, actually they can do pretty well, and they have a decent sell-through rate. So Michael picked up that as well. He also picked up this Star Wars tumbler. I actually just listed this. This is really cool. I can't find others like this online, and maybe I was just not looking in the right spot. This is from Star Wars The Last Jedi, and I think this was probably an upgrade cup to buy at the concession stand. I think maybe 2 more. They're not listed yet. I got to check and see. I picked up a handful of these here just recently at Goodwill. I think somebody from the theater must have been cleaning out the back room and donated, because these are brand new. And there were several other cups that they donated that were brand new as well. So these were the coolest, I thought, with the red guard on there. So I did list one the other day, and Michael found it, picked it up. And then the coolest piece, and this is one of the cooler pieces that I picked up in some time, honestly. I really like this. I had it hanging on my wall. It hung on my wall for a day before Michael found it. It's the SS Leviathan. I'm a history nerd, and so without diving too much into this, you can see this is the Leviathan sailing into New York Harbor. You see the skyline back there. And the Leviathan was a World War I era ship, actually built by Germany. And it wasn't originally called the Leviathan. I forget what it was called, actually. It was a German name. But this was sailing all over the world. It was a steamer. It wasn't like Titanic level fancy, but it was relatively fancy. It actually had, as I recall, a full-size replica of a restaurant, Ritz-Carlton or the Waldorf or something. One of those, it had an exact replica inside. Very, very fancy. And when the war started, this wound up being seized by the United States, this ship. And so what we did is we took their ship, and then we converted it into a troop carrier. They had to retrofit it. They had to change a whole bunch of stuff in it. They kept adding to it. The first time it went out, it carried like 7,000 troops. And eventually upwards of 10,000 troops were able to go back and forth on this thing. And this is a World War I era photo. It's framed really nicely in here. The old framing, ready to hang. And there's, I don't know the names, but it looks like people who probably were on the ship. 3 guys signed to this thing many, many years ago. This came from an estate sale. This was in the hallway, guys. And I think everybody was so focused on getting to rooms, and that happens a lot of times, they don't look at the walls. And so that's one area, you look under tables, you look high, look off to the sides. Everybody was so focused on get to this room, get to that room. That's where the stuff is. They had stuff hanging on the walls as well. And this was right there on the wall, and it was $5. And I just thought, how cool is that? Like, just the history and the look I mean, that's an amazing photo to hang somewhere. And so I had no idea the value. I just picked it up. You know, I thought that this is certainly worth something. And so picked this thing up, and stuff of the Leviathan actually sells relatively well, some of it for very high dollar. And Michael sent me an offer of $35 plus shipping, and of course I took that. So Michael, enjoy this. I really love this photo. Apologies for the glare there. Just trying to give you a look at this thing. It's just such a cool piece of history. So I hope you enjoy that. I loved finding it, and I love putting it in a new home. Thank you so much for coming in and for getting all that stuff. The movie was $9.98, as we said. This was $35, but then the other three in the middle, $91.43. Really nice set of military history there, Michael. Thank you, thank you, thank you. This right here, check this out, Brain Age 2. There's no game. Brain Age 2 for the DS. It's got the manual. It's got all the paperwork. There's just no game. So I sold something with no game in it. And it clearly pointed that out in the listing. But Brain Age 2, the case plus all the paperwork, $4.99 plus shipping. So check. If you find those empty cases at garage sales a lot of times, and be sure you do, open them up, check before you buy video games and movies. Very often they're not in the case, or it's the wrong one in there. I've been bitten by that multiple times. Check. And if it's empty and you think it's a high dollar game, ask, you know, do you mind if I just take the case? They're not going to charge you for an empty case at garage sale. They might just give you free money. It's another piece of military history here. This really cool. You can see the age. You can see the patina on there. And you got the discoloration on there from age and use. But that's just fine. Like, this is relatively unique. There's actually a number back there. There you go. I got to get the light on it. NORD 472. You can't quite read what's under that because it's rusted away. I actually met at this sale a couple days later a military collector. Fascinating. He finds like the history on various uniforms and stuff like that. He tracks down the paperwork and the history of where it came from, maybe the people that wore it, stuff like that. Really cool. I've now got a resource to reach out to for information. He found that I told him about this being listed, and he contacted me and said I was right. This is World War II era fighting knife scabbard, and it's painted because it was part of the Navy. And he said the Navy at that time was notorious for painting stuff like this, or like tools, you know, a wrench, whatever it is. They painted different items, different colors based on their use or their department. So it was one of those color coding type A people that said, you know what, we're going to a color system. So all the yellow painted stuff was in a particular area on the ship or on the base or whatever. All the yellows went with the yellows. All the blues went with the blues. You know, that sort of thing. Some cool information. So a World War II scabbard. This one I put up to auction because I just didn't know the value. And with the wear on it, and I thought, you know what, let's see what happens. I paid, I think, $6 for this, and it sold at auction. We had, I think, 4 or 5 bidders going after this one. I hoped it would go a little higher, but very happy, $31 plus shipping for that, and they paid very, very quickly. So happy to send that scabbard out. And then the best sale of the last little bit, the Harley Touring Models 2007 service manual. We've talked on this show about collecting service manuals for the store when you can find them. These are the big, thick manuals that you would have gotten through the dealer. You can see he highlighted stuff where he fixed various components on his bike. That's not that big a deal. These are very expensive. I think he paid $75. I found the original receipt in here. He paid $75 plus shipping for this when he bought it. And that, back in 2007, this held its value, actually went up a little bit because I sold this for full asking price, $99.82 plus shipping. $100 for this thing. And I picked this up on, it was either the second or the third day of an estate sale. And I think it was tagged 18, so I paid $9 for it because it was half off. Or it might have been 10, I paid 5. I don't remember now, to be quite honest with you. But I didn't pay anywhere near 100. My customer did.
Once again, as is the norm, for my store, if you watch this channel for any amount of time at all, we saw that low dollar stuff, that $5, $6 stuff, and then we sprinkle in a good helping of that steak and potatoes and a couple of porterhouses in there. I'm really happy with the way the last couple of days on eBay have gone. This is about a day and a half or so of sales. And so I did actually promise in the last video, I sort of teased what was coming up. And that's why I don't normally do that, because now that's not coming up. We were going to talk about a couple of things today. We're going to talk about feedback, and I was going to play for you some information from Courtney over at Bolo Buddies. So first, Courtney over at Bolo Buddies, we're going to do that next week. I'm going to try for Tuesday or Wednesday. And the only reason that you're getting bumped, Courtney, is because I talk too long. I want to make sure that these videos don't get too long, and it's already getting pretty lengthy with all we sold, and I lost myself talking Leviathan, and so it's getting long, and I don't want people to tune out before Courtney comes in and shares her fantastic information. So we're going to bump that to next week just for that reason, because it's really good and it's important, and I want you to hear that. And also the feedback, same reason. We're going to talk about feedback. We'll do that on Monday. Is what we'll do. We're going to talk about getting negative feedback removed. Part of the reason, again, for the time, but also I'm still in the middle of getting something resolved. And so I thought, you know what, let's wait until I have a resolution for it, and then I can share with you the full story. So that, hopefully, coming up Monday, if I get that thing resolved, I'll still get something out on Monday. Even if it's not resolved, it's a holiday weekend, so who knows if that thing's going to get fixed. But we'll talk about feedback one way or another on Monday. Guys, I got to let you go. This thing's getting way too long, and I've still got eBay orders to pack. We'll see ya.